1,000 feet for nearly 10 hours.
As Allie Bradley shows us, volunteers came to his rescue late Wednesday in really dangerous terrain and poor weather conditions, saying it could have turned out so differently for this 24-year-old recreational climber.
Whether or not if I decided to, try cutting the rope, if the fall would kill me. But, I decided that it definitely would.
After nearly 10 hours, dangling in a harness 1,000 feet up, the 24-year-old climber's options began to dwindle.
Just thinking about, that I was probably going to die.
Stephen is a recreational climber. He didn't want to use his last name, but says he and his friends set out to climb Tower Rock in the Gifford Pinchot National Forest at about 10 a.m. on Wednesday.
He would leave off the top and hike down, and I would rappel down, and then we'd just meet at the road.
While Stephen was rappelling down, things took a turn.
Couldn't really reach to grab any rock or push myself to swing more. I was just kind of flailing around.
His friend was getting help. Flailing in free space, this was no longer a race down the rock face, but instead a race against time.
My legs definitely were getting numb, and definitely got more numb as the hours went on and tingly.
And you're at high risk for something called suspension syndrome or harnessing syndrome.
Little did he know, the volunteers of Tacoma Mountain Rescue were already mobilizing.
A mid-face pickoff is what we call this in mountain rescue.
Ready to take on the difficult terrain and deteriorating weather conditions. The cold, wind, and rain all making this extremely rare rescue even more challenging.
It's a unicorn. You train to it.
The team of 9 volunteers made the more than a mile hike with hundreds of pounds of gear.
Once we heard that he was awake and talking and even cracking jokes with our line attendant, it was very, very reassuring at that point in time.
Once the climber was back on solid ground, Dr. Ben Constance, with the help of an emergency physician from Olympic Mountain Rescue, assessed Stephen.
And immediately started warming him, giving him IV fluids, electrolytes, sugar and glucose in order to give his body energy to continue to shiver and keep himself warm.
Stephen miraculously was able to hike himself back off of the mountain. Dr. Constance saying he was cold, dehydrated, and had some early muscle breakdown.
The fact that he created the leg loops to start equalizing some of that pressure on his legs and to get the circulation into his body and get that circulation moving is really what saved his life.
While TMR is giving Stephen credit, Stephen won't soon forget what those volunteers risked for him Wednesday night. One of the team members even breaking his ankle on the way back out.
So I'm thankful for them, and they're doing great work, and I'm glad people like them are around to keep us all safe on the rocks.
Allie Bradley, Q13 News.
Yeah, he is one lucky guy. TMR, along with other search and rescue groups across the state, are volunteer-based and are funded through donations. Head to Q13Fox.com for how you can contribute to their cause. Well, the power, thankfully, is back on for more than 10,000 customers.